taking Lancaster County maybe as a case study, what would be a permaculture critique of what's happening?
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. So, Lancaster County is situated in the lower Susquehanna watershed, but also more broadly in the Chesapeake Bay watershed. And the Chesapeake Bay is one of the most valuable natural resources that we have because it's a huge estuary. And an estuary is something called an ecotone, and that's where two different ecosystems meet, and then that creates a whole new system, and this niche creates uh, a profundity of life. So we in Lancaster County is one of the number one agricultural counties east of the Mississippi, productively. But far too much of the agriculture is conventional agriculture. And what I mean by that is that they're using things like herbicides. And the number one herbicide in the world is Roundup, and it has glyphosate in it. They're using a lot of fertilizers, and these fertilizers are kind of like heroin for plants. The more you use, the more the soil dies, and then the more you need to use to keep maintaining the yields. But the problem with that is A, the components to make the fertilizer are all finite resources and mostly based on fossil fuels. And B, it creates nitrogen agricultural runoff that then pollutes the waterways. And that's one of the reasons why the Chesapeake Bay, the people around the Chesapeake Bay and the EPA are suing Lancaster County because of a lot of that agricultural runoff. There's also been far too much deforestation along Lancaster County waterways. And what happens when farmers decide to farm all the way up to the edge of a creek or a river is whether it's livestock getting into the river and creating sediment because they're stirring up all the water, or creating pollution because they're defecating in the water, or whether it's monocropped agriculture that creates the runoff that I just mentioned. And so that creates more pollutants going into more and more Lancaster County waterways. So whether they're smaller watersheds like the Conestoga River or the Little Conestoga or the broader Susquehanna watershed. And so that all flows downstream. This is where that connectivity between that I started to see between everything comes into play, because all that pollution goes downstream, and now the Chesapeake Bay and the Susquehanna are very sick waterways. And that causes problems for both the human and non-human life that are found within those waterways. So a critique would be that we need more regenerative, at a minimum, organic agriculture, and we need more of what are called riparian buffers along waterways. And there are organizations, Trees for Grazers being one of them. Regional is a local environmental nonprofit that works in this realm as well. But if you plant riparian buffers 300 feet from every waterway, you're going to catch a lot of those nutrients that are running off. You're going to prevent erosion and sedimentation of waterways from causing further pollution and clouding the water so that various species of fish or invertebrates can't live there. And it will have a knock-on effect of having more clean water flowing into the Chesapeake. And from another perspective, the non-organic conventional agriculture continues to create problems for the soil ecology. And just up the road in Kutztown is the Rodale Institute, and they have done side-by-side comparisons between organically produced crops and conventionally produced crops for decades now. And what they've shown is that the land that is farmed organically is more resilient than the uh, conventionally cropped lands in terms of being able to withstand heat and drought or excessive rain or anything like that, because the soil is more healthy and therefore more productive.